Well, hey y'all, Six Gunslinging here to do another little knife review. This time it's going to be on a Buck 303 Cadet. I've had this knife dragging around with me since about 1989. And this knife was made between 1974 and 1983. And you say, well, how do you know that? Well, I'm going to tell you. You look at the pull on the main blade. Get it to focus here. Dang focus. It's a long pull. That means this knife was made by Camillus. And I think it was around 1966 Buck came out with this knife, and they didn't make it themselves. They had these knives made by Schrade. And then in 1968, I believe Camillus made their first knife for them. If I'm thinking correctly, but I know looking it up, this knife was made between 1974 and 1983, and I picked it up somewhere around 1989, and been dragging it around ever since then. The knife close is about 3. You know what? All these other guys do it. I might as well start. This knife closed is about 3 1/4 inches long. Closed. I didn't weigh it, but don't weigh very much. That's a scientific measurement there. But it is it's a standard little Stockman. Other than that, and I'm doing it for Stockman Stampede Saturday, or Saturday Stockman Stampede, however you say that. But this is one of my favorite little Stockman knives. I've been carrying it around, like I said, for a long time. I'll give you a look at the main blade here. It's got a nice little clip point. And then I'll give you a look at the markings on the blade there. It says Buck USA 303. And like I said, this was contracted out by Camillus that made these knives. And one way you can tell, besides the long pull, is the way, if you have any old Schrades, the way Schrade used to make their knives is if you kind of breathe on the bolster here a little bit, and you can probably see it in this picture, you can see that pin, pivot pin on the bolster. Well, on Schrade you can't, because the way they did it all underneath the bolster, and then they used the bolster as a cap. And so you didn't see any pivot pins on a Schrade knife. But also you can tell right away by looking at that pull on that main blade. The one thing that is really unique about this little knife is it has no blade rub at all. I'm not sure how Buck did it, but it has no blade rub, or Camillus I should say. And we'll pull open the sheep's foot blade, give you a little idea of the snap here. Got a nice little snap, got no blade rub anywhere on the knife. Real faintly, you might could see I have my name engraved on there, because back in the day, that's what I did. I engraved my name on it. But anyway, no blade rub. Got a little close, nice close. And it's the only Stockman that I've ever had or seen that has 0 blade rub. And it's got a real beautiful little spade blade there. The grinds are perfect. Unlike a lot of other Camillus knives, even though it's a Buck knife, it doesn't have a really strong pull. It's got a good pull, but it's not too strong. I would say the pull on this knife is about a 5, which is real comfortable. That's about what I like it. It's you got those nail breakers, and I got some of those too, and I love those. But this is about a 5. It's real easy to open. But it does feel secure when you are using it. It doesn't give any indication it's going to close on you. Like every other Stockman design, it has one spring for the main blade and one spring for the small blades, the sheep's foot and the spade blade. But like I said, it has no blade rub. It's really comfortable. It's kind of a textured Durlin material on the outside. Kind of a smooth black, and then it has a little bit of texturing going across here. And it does give you a nice little purchase on the knife. These are really cool, especially, I think the Buck's making some really nice versions. I've seen the new ones. like I said, they contracted them, and I forgot what year. I think it was maybe around 83 or so, or a little later. Buck started making their own knives, and they got rid of that long pull, and they used a little nail nick. And then they started using what we have come to recognize, if you're a Buck collector, as the little date codes, the little arrow pointing that way. They got various symbols. You can look them up. But they do various symbols so you can tell when the knife was made. But back in the day, they didn't do that. But you can definitely tell just by looking when you see that long main blade pull that it was made by Camillus. And then, like I said, the Schrade ones, you'll look and you won't see any pivot pin on the bolster. If you look real fine or if you breathe on it, you can see it. It's a handy little knife. I've been dragging it around since then. That was back in the era when I was still riding bulls, and I remember I would throw this in my pocket when I rode, The reason being that if you got hurt or something, you could have something to cut yourself out of your boots with, or if you got hung up real bad, you could maybe cut yourself loose. But a bull's throwing you around, you ain't gonna be able to get to your pocket knife. But just a peace of mind, I guess. Used to carry a Bible around in my rigging bag too, because that brings you some peace of mind as well. Anyway, that's just been a quick little look at my Buck 303 Cadet. Been dragging it around since 1989. It's a great little knife. If you want to pick one of these up, in fact, I saw one online today, as a matter of fact. They wanted $90 for it. Brand new in the box with the papers and everything. I had the original receipt, still had the sticker on the box from the store they bought it from. And the guy online, they were asking $89, which I think is, for a little time capsule, it's pretty cool. I would want to get one that I could carry, though. And if you get one that has a little bit of use on it, I think you can pick them up for around $30, $40, the Camillus made ones. And then the new Buck ones that Buck are making are very high quality. And I don't know what those are running. I think $60, maybe, somewhere around there. And they're all USA made as well. I don't know about the blade rub on the Buck ones, but I can tell you for a fact that this particular Camillus model that I have, it has 0 blade rub. And what's cool about this is it has the old style Buck shield. And what that is it's a hammer, and if you can't see it, but you can look at pictures online, it is a hammer whacking a bolt over an anvil. And that's what Buck used to advertise, that they made their knives were so strong, and they used a Buck 119 to exemplify that. And they would whack the blade through a bolt on an anvil, and the knife would sustain no damage. And that's what they used to advertise. Anyway, I'll give you another look around. Talk about fit and finish. The fit and finish is excellent. Camillus they were a great company. They really made some fantastic knives. I'll give you another look at that walk and talk. There's our snap. And then I'll give you a look at our close. Great little walk and talk. Great little snap. Great centering. Very well put together, and not even a hint of blade rub, which is incredibly rare for a Stockman. I've never had one. I got a bunch of them, and I've never had one that didn't have some sort of blade rub, but this one does not. And anyway, just giving you a quick look at a cool little knife that I have had in my collection or accumulation, I should say, for quite a while. And another thing, I want to wish y'all a happy Easter. I don't know, a lot of people coming on here have different religions, but I myself am a Christian, and we're coming up to Easter, which is the resurrection of Christ. And I want to say God bless all of you. Even those of you that don't believe, I still want to wish you well and say God bless you too, And everybody that stops by, I really appreciate y'all. I've jumped up to over 200 subscribers. And I think that's really cool. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a YouTube star, but I really do like talking knives and hearing about your knives and hearing about your stories. And my attitude, I've said it before, but I do believe it's like we're all sitting around a campfire, and every time I get a new subscriber, it's like somebody new pulled up a log to the campfire, and they talk about their knives and their story. And so I really appreciate all y'all, and thank you for stopping by. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. That way we have a nice little community of people that love knives. You know, in a world where everybody's arguing about everything, it's just one thing we can all agree on and get along with, and I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, God bless y'all, and we will catch y'all down the road.